Fantastic. All right, we have 36 people in the house, and we hope to start anytime from now. Thank you, everyone, for all the efforts you've made to make this a reality today. Yep. Welcome everyone that has joined us in MT. Oh, Collins Egede is in the house. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Okay, fantastic. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the MTN SME webinars titled Make It, Market It, Tapping into the Global Franchise Wealth through Local Enterprise. And we have made this reloaded. Why are we saying it's reloaded? We had this session last year as the final session of the SME webinars for 2021. But as things happened, logistics issues, we couldn't have a proper and robust recording, and we didn't have very good bandwidth that day to do a lot of logistic stuff went down, and we had to start again. And we are saying we are reloading it this morning on the 8th of March. We were supposed to have this also in February as the opener for the year of our MTN SME webinars, but unfortunately we could not have that session in February, so we have moved it to today. And I can see that the house is getting full already. A lot of people are coming in to share in this session. It's a very insightful session. And let me just say from the MTN SME webinars, a happy new year. A happy new year to everyone joining us. Thank you. We have 87 people in the house, 88, 89. The numbers keep going up. Thank you very much. We'll just wait for about a minute or two and have people join us. I think on this call, we have people from our Yellow 200. We have people from our SME tribe on MTN SME tribe on Facebook. And we also have a lot of our customers that have been invited via SMS blast for this session. I'm very grateful. Thanks to my colleagues that have always been part of this, Motunrayo Eweje from the enterprise business team and Blessing Wogiran from our brands team. I'm very excited to start a new year with this session. Okay, we have 103 participants now, and I see people are taking this very seriously. I know some people did not hear this session very well last time we had it. And I'm glad also that Mo is already in our office. She's clad in MTN colors. Mo, we've changed our logo. We'll give you a new t-shirt very soon, don't worry, with the new logo. MTN has rebranded since the last time we had our SML. So you guys can see my backdrop, you can see what we're a nimble company now. We're simple company. We're a technology company now. So it's all about doings. We are doing great things in tech. We are doing great things in fintech. We are doing great things in all areas. We are partnering with solution providers to expand the reach and to bring solutions to businesses. And that is what we are all about at MTN. So please welcome on board. If you go to our website, we have a new SME combo product. It's a brilliant data and voice plan called MTN Thrive. You can go on our website, mtnbusiness.com.ng, mtnbusiness.com.ng, and you can get on Thrive. Read about it. There are frequently asked questions there on the website. So you can always log on to MTN Thrive. You can get on MTN Thrive. It has data plans, it has voice plans, and it has MTN Engage, it has bulk SMS. Also, for those of you that run businesses and want to have a brilliant bulk SMS platform, we have the MTN bulk SMS platform already already live. So you can go on our website as well and read about MTN SME bulk SMS. Okay, and that is, okay, we have 129 people. Can we just wait a little bit more so that more people can join us? We have 130 people on board now, 130. Yes, thanks, Mr. Aderigbe, for that. Congratulations to rebranded MTN. What do we do today? What we are doing today is the first edition of the SMA. Oh, yes, happy International Women's Day. There are women on board. And interestingly, today, our speaker is a woman again. So how fit can it be to have a woman as our first speaker for 2022? And she's bringing to us a very brilliant topic today. As we go on, I enjoin you to take notes. This session will be recorded and it will be placed on our MTN YouTube page. So you can go back to MTN YouTube page and watch past editions of MTN SME webinars. Just scroll, there's a lot of content on MTN Nigeria YouTube page. So you can go in there and watch past editions. Also look out for MTN Rev. Just search on your YouTube platform, MTN Rev program, REVV. It was a program held in year 2020 during the lockdown. And it was a brilliant session for businesses to learn on finance, on branding, on customer service, on hiring, HR issues, and all that. So we had a lot of fun, and the sessions are still live on our YouTube page. Okay, so we have about 140 something people now, and I know people will continue to join us. So if you don't join from the beginning, you can always go back to the YouTube page and watch the session to be online in about a few days after this session. So ladies and gentlemen, to take us through Make It, Market It, and Make It, Market It, and Make It, Market and Promote It, and Market It, reloaded on the 8th of March, we have Mo Olumide Obidiran. Male Olumide, let me just give you a rundown of her profile. Just a minute now. Mo Olumide Obidiran is a strategist by calling from a legal background, and she's from Great Ife, and with a gift of separating issues and integrating people, resources, and ideas. She has been a cohesive force in strategizing, negotiating, and aggregating collaborative resources in Africa's development and knowledge economy space for almost 2 decades now. She currently serves as the Deputy Director General, let that sink, Deputy Director General at Nigerian Association of Small-Scale Industrialists, NASSI. She has received honors as a WSIS Fellow from ITU Geneva, from Henry Bohr Foundation, Frederick Eberts, and as the Global Wisdom Leader from One Village Foundation in San Jose. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mo. Welcome, Mo.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's always nice to be with you guys. And of course, I can't resist the Great Ife part. Greatest Ife. So yes, happy International Women's Day. And I, of course, wish every one of us happy celebrations. I'm going to jump right into it because Darren has done all that talking. And a lot of people would, be asking, make it, market it, what are we talking about? And since I'm in the midst of entrepreneurs here, I'm just going to say, I thank God that you're here, that you're thinking of what more to add to your business and how to get, the entire economic rejuvenation going, especially after COVID. Darren has my slides. If they can just put it on, whoever is controlling the slides can go straight to COVIDnomics. Post the pandemic, Nigeria has been placed in such a position that we have become, it has become imperative that we push through with this whole diversification agenda. You must have heard in 1 or 2 or 3 meetings where there's a lot of talk about overdependence on oil and petroleum goods, and how the nation really should be doing much more than sitting on oil. And of course, in some cases, you've even heard that the oil reserves will run out and all of that. But I imagine that not a lot of the people that are here today are in the oil and gas sector. Many of the people that are here, I wish I could see in the comment section how many people here are into some sort of buying and selling, trading. How many people, if you're importing from outside of Nigeria, I'd like to see some indication in the chats. Also, if you're doing any kind of production locally, I'd like to see also in the chat. So while those comments are coming in the chat and I'm trying to get to know exactly what you're doing, let me take you through another part of the slides where I talk about the art of the bounce. In the art of the bounce, I talk about how we have recognized that achieving transformational and sustainable economic growth has to necessarily impact smallholder livelihoods. The simple reason is because small businesses are the lifeline of the economy. Take that or leave it. It's the truth, and it's the incontrovertible truth. If you remove small businesses from the economy, you would pretty much just kill off the entire economy. It is smallholders who are the lifeline, the real lifeline of the Nigerian economy. So that now puts us, when I say us now, I mean Nigeria, under a sort of pressure to engage the demographics down to the basics, to attract, train, and retain capacity within that economic demographic. Now, how many people who are in small business have been trained to do business in this sector? If you have gotten some kind of training, I'd also like to see in the comments. This is where a lot of us will agree with me that we have fire on the mountain. A good number, as at last count, we were told that there's about 41 million small businesses in Nigeria. 41 million in a country of 200 million. Even though those figures, I always say those figures must have doubled since COVID, one. Also, minus COVID, the fact is that the Nigerian system has not been able to capture really the informal sector. And this has been a persistent problem for the longest time. So even that 41 million that we had as at last count is what is on the books. What really happens in the market is quite different. And I can tell you it's much higher than that, much higher. But yet we have all of these local talents that is available to us and that is also viable globally. The parallel economy dwarfs many times over the real economy. That is what is seen on paper. The amount of money that moves in the market is much more than what is recorded in the banking sector. The amount of imports that really happens is much more than what is recorded in customs and the rest of them. So you begin to ask yourself, how will all of this pan out when we put all of these peculiarities together? How does it pan out for us? One of the things that immediately strikes you is the fact that even though the Nigerian economy is quite active and there is a lot of entrepreneurial activity, much of that entrepreneurial activity is actually going right under the radar and they're not recorded. Apart from that, the ones that are on the radar that are recorded are showing also that what we are doing mostly is regurgitating the leftovers of the economic activities of countries like China and other countries in Europe. So you find that I'm seeing from the comments that quite a number of people are into importation. And I want to take a wild guess that a lot of you are drop shipping finished goods from China and Malaysia and maybe Japan and the rest of Europe and America. But even with this, we have a per capita GDP of about $6,351 per capita. This is for today in a post-COVID world where the world is already moving also towards a lot of e-commerce and digitization. You find that we're far behind. We're talking about, I don't want to throw out too many figures out there, which you can find online or in the slides, the Human Development Index of 0.514. But the real part that you will see every day is that Nigeria is importing more than it is exporting. And even the things that we're exporting, very few of those things are actually finished goods made here and that use the human resources locally. What happens is that we're just exchanging Naira notes. We're buying dollars to buy goods from abroad, bringing them in and exchanging Naira notes. That's pretty much what the economic and entrepreneurial activity is showing. I don't know why if the slides are showing. Can you see the slides? Because I'd like to go
I'm working on it. It will be on soon. Just give me a minute.
Okay. On the slides, I wish you could see this right now, but on the post-COVID SME market pulse slide, you can see the attitude of SMEs in Nigeria to e-commerce. You can see here ratio 19 out of every 20 Nigerian business is owned by an 18-year-old or above. Many SMEs are online, about 59% of them are online. And what do they sell online? Mostly mobile phones, gadgets, jewelry, watches, and fashion. Those are the three highest selling products online. And if you check those three highest selling products online, how many of them are made locally? I'm not sure that we're up till now selling any mobile phones that are made locally, not even assembled locally. So you begin to see what the dynamics are. Yet, in this case, we're seeing that Nigeria, and particularly Lagos, is Africa's startup capital. The leading cities for startups in Africa are Lagos, Nairobi, Cape Town, Johannesburg, Cairo, Kigali, Accra, and Tunis in Tunisia. But Lagos leads by 4.69. And it's mind-blowing because we're doing all of this leading by selling and buying what other people are making. How much more could we do if we're actually more into making locally? And somebody is probably still wondering, so how do we get to making it, and what has marking it got to do with it, and what has marketing what you have made and marked got to do with it? I'll digress a little bit. A few days ago, one of the Forbes billionaires was named as a Lebanese, and this is I don't want to mention names, a Lebanese name that has made pretty much all of its wealth in Nigeria, born in Nigeria, raised in Nigeria, does all of his business in Nigeria, And yet all of this wealth is attributed to the Lebanese a dynasty, which even though has lived all of their lives in Nigeria, made all of their money in and from Nigerians, and still attributed as Lebanese wealth. So you begin to wonder, why are we still falling within the crack? Yes. So yes, I now begin. I'm already at Startup West Africa. That's slide 9. And you now begin to think, okay, so if we're making all of this entrepreneurial and economic activity in these areas, and we're doing that in the areas that we have already seen, the e-commerce tracks show the people who are really doing the selling, they're young, and what they're really selling and how they're selling it. E-commerce is playing a huge role. But still, when we break it down further, we see that the financial services, healthcare, human resource, media and entertainment, mobility and logistics really still don't measure up to all the online retail. So if we're retailing, if retailing is the bulk, 59.9%, if retailing is the bulk of our entire entrepreneurial activity, what are we retailing? And have we stopped to ask ourselves, who is really making these things that we're retailing? Who are we making this money for? A few months ago, I saw online one of the leather manufacturing companies in Nigeria. I think it's called Winston Leather. Winston Leather makes, they have their tannery here in Nigeria, a great company doing really well, run by a young man, under 50, local enterprise through and through. And I saw that because of one of the factors that we'll be discussing today, they attributed a fashion icon, I think Beyonce, they attributed one of the leather purses that she was carrying to their leather, but it was made by another company. It was made by another company that actually carried, that actually marked that bag. But the real leather that was used in the making of that bag that Beyonce was carrying was actually done in Nigeria from our local tanneries here. But you see, because we're not marking the things that we're making, even sometimes in the few cases where we're actually making something, where we're not just retailing, because of this missing mark, because of this missing IP, because of this missing trademarking and intellectual property stamping that we're not doing, a lot of our products are finding their way into other markets where sometimes they find their way there because they're easier to finish there, or sometimes because it's just better to, I wouldn't say better, let me take that back. It's easier to maybe establish your plant or your factory in Ghana than in Nigeria. Because of some of these factors, a lot of our raw materials are finding their way outside of our local market, and they're missing their identity. One of the products that we discussed recently in a conference on geographical indications is that the leather that is widely known in Africa today as Morocco leather is actually made in Kano, originates from Nigeria, but because in the market, a lot of it finds its way to Morocco and then gets made into the finished products there from Morocco. It is widely known as Morocco leather, but it's actually Kano leather. and it is very good. It has been proven to be one of the best in the world. And that quality has been subsumed in the identity of another geographical entity entirely. And all of this is because SMEs are still not taking intellectual property seriously in Nigeria. I'm sure that a lot of SMEs don't even think about trademarking, copywriting, doing all of that, unless there is a problem. Recently, we also had a furor broke out, online, where a British company was trying to trademark a Yoruba insignia, and it begins to make me think that must we wait until we have problems or competition or another entity, whether geographical, whether corporate, tries to take over our identity before we really begin to think about intellectual property in Nigeria? And it's just sad, because if you go on to the next slide, Derry, is that our entire industrialization is hinged on our ability to manufacture locally within Africa. Because if you manufacture locally, then you are able to put your stamp on it, to put your mark on it, and then to be able to market that thing as having originated from Nigeria. Within the world of intellectual property, there is something called geographical indications. And geographical indications are simply the intellectual property that is attributable to natural goods, naturally occurring phenomenon, whether they're goods and in some cases services, methodologies of doing things that have originated locally. Now, these origin goods are differently priced in the market. They are differently priced on the global market. And because we are not very particular about our intellectual property, there is every tendency that we will get lost in the crowd. And how dangerous is it for us to get lost in the crowd? We're talking about getting lost in a 1.2 billion man market. If everything that we make is made raw and sold raw without carrying some form of intellectual property protection, then they find their way into 50-something other countries in Africa, where they are made into finished goods, where those people who have made them into finished goods will now put their stamp and their stamp of ownership on it. Then we have simply disappeared through the cracks. Nobody will know that Morocco leather originated from Kano, or that the bag that Beyonce was carrying was actually made from leather that originated from Nigeria, or that the cocoa that is made into chocolate in Ghana, that most of it actually originated from Nigeria, or that the palm wine that has been made into a double distilled palm gin could have come from Nigeria, or that the egusi that is marketed under a Chinese brand actually originated from Nigeria. How are we losing all of this? We're losing ourselves in the global market because of our lack of value for intellectual property. A lot of small businesses will, tell you, in fact, sometimes that, they're looking for funds, they don't have collateral, they don't have a building. Intellectual property is collateral. Intellectual property can be used to barter with a corporate finance entity. You can license a bigger company to use your intellectual property. You can do a lot with that intellectual property that you think is nothing, that you have refused, to take cognizance of. So how do we avoid getting lost in a 1.2 billion man market? Next slide, please. In fact, next 2 slides. Yes, intellectual property is a form of collateral, and and I can hear Augusta say that a lot of business owners are not enlightened. Yes, it is true. And this is why MTN is bringing this to you today. So how do we make sure that we are not lost in this huge 1.2 billion man market? It is by making sure that, one, we produce what we use. A lot of our money is lost in the foreign exchange market. A lot of what can make a business to sink is in banking on another geographical entity's exchange power. Under the ETLS program that is run through the ECOWAS, we've been trying for many years to get to a point where we can come to a harmonized structure for legal tenders, at least within the ECOWAS family. But now that is being extended all the way to the African family because of the advent of the AFCFTA. Next slide. While we're making our way towards a unified payment system, we must know that while we don't want to keep our imports above our exports, it means that we have to begin to look inwards. We have to produce what we use, then we have to use what we are producing, because the more we exchange the naira for naira and not naira for dollar, then the stronger the naira becomes. And then the more the things that we are making can be sold for forex, can be sold for dollars. The things that you make, put in the naira into use, and then you can sell for dollars. Then our exports can begin to climb and our imports decrease. As we're using what we're producing, then we have to also get to producing what others use. In the slide before, Derry, please go back one slide. Africa has been mapped. There is what South Africa has in abundance, but there is what they use that they don't have in abundance. There is what is made, Niger Republic, for example, they have a lot of uranium deposits. There's a lot of diamonds in the Central African Republic. So there's what the rest of Africa has, but there's also what they use or what they need. We have to, once we master the art of producing what we use and using what we produce, we then have to master the art of production of what others use and what others need. Then as our exports begin to climb and rise above our imports, then we get to extend and localize the value chain. When we're extending and localizing our value chain, we're providing more jobs for people. I'm sure a lot of the guys on the call who have indicated that they do importation, a lot of them are solopreneurs. They run businesses that can be done by maybe just them, or sometimes a small company of maybe about 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people. But if you have a local manufacturing entity, there is no way you will not employ a greater number of people. And that means we employ more, and then we produce more and make more money. And we must also take care of innovation. As we are extending value chain, for example, let's take cocoa. Let's take cocoa, for example. We take cocoa, and instead of planting cocoa and exporting cocoa wholesale, we begin to look at extending the cocoa value chain locally. We then begin to look at maybe chocolates. We begin to look at coffee. We begin to look at cocoa nibs, snacks, sweets. We begin to look at extending even to cocoa waste that can be put into all kinds of bio usage locally. But at the same time, we are also coming back to exporting finished goods that carry the Nigerian trademark, that carry the Nigerian registered trademarks. and that can carry the Nigerian flag outside of Nigeria and bring more people, because every product is the ambassador of the company that makes it. When you find a good product somewhere, the first thing is, oh, where is it made? How can I get more? And that's the question people ask. But when you take Nigerian yam and you make it into some yam powder, but you do it in Ghana and it carries a made in Ghana logo, then the yam, no matter how great and fantastic it is, cannot bring more buyers to the Nigerian to Nigerian market, because the trademark on it is Ghanaian. So why I love my Ghanaian brothers, I love the rest of Africa, but you see, I'm first of all a Nigerian, and when I'm looking at the Nigerian market, I'm looking at how it can grow. So next two slides, we talked about production and merchandising. Now let me talk about the franchise opportunity when you begin to move from merchandising. One of the biggest markets in the world today is the franchise market. How does the franchise market work? The franchise market works by taking a brand that is established or that has mastered a way of doing business, whether it's into product or services. How many people use gyms here? How many people have seen the iFitness gyms? So as you're responding in the chats, I'm looking at how many people shop with ShopRite here? How many people use MTN? MTN is a South African franchise that has found its way into the Nigerian market and has so established itself. And I dare say, Darren, you can prove me wrong, MTN is probably doing better in Nigeria than any of the other places that it's in. Am I wrong? So you see, so you see, this is the power of franchising. When you take a product that is made locally and you make it into an ambassador, you send it into the rest of the world, what it does is it puts that country in the lead everywhere else that product goes.
Hello, Mo.
And a kind of lost Mo for what should soon be connected. While we are waiting for Mo to get connected to us, can we all drop our questions in the Q&A section? Please, because at 10:45, we'll start with the Q&A. Thank you. Mo, are you back?
I am.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. So I want to challenge every business owner that is here, that is doing some kind of buy and selling. I salute you. You are doing great things. You are doing wonderful things. It is not easy to even be in the business space at all. But I want you to have a vision. I want you to have a long-term vision of going from merchandising to franchising, to establishing whatever it is that you do so well that you can export it. You don't have to start with exporting internationally. You can export it from one state to the other. Or you can, I know a lady who sells fruits and veggies, and she's based in Kaduna. And recently I started seeing her products and her, her trademarks in Lagos. And I saw also online that she had mastered this art of cold chain logistics. And she's moving her product by flight to places like Abuja, Lagos, and Ibadan. And this is fantastic. And before you know it, you will begin to see those products in neighboring countries. And then before you know it, it's all over Africa. This is the dream, that we move from merchandising to franchising. I will tell you why at the end of this seminar. If we do not franchise, then we are unable to explore the real value chain that we have of our wealth. Now, if we franchise, if we move from merchandising to franchising, we're not only able to earn Forex, or even, we're also able to diversify, because when you begin to franchise, then you create a bigger room. Not everybody is importing, what's the highest, one of the things that we import the most would be, I think, phones and gadgets. Yes, it's one of the top 3 in one of the slides up there above. Phones and gadgets constitute one of the largest imports and highest selling items online. Now, if we are doing some kind of diversification of the economy, then we begin to look at exploring what we have locally. Trust me, every state in Nigeria has something that they are not using already. There was a news item a few days ago. The IMF was knocking Nigeria for not having increased our export portfolio in the last 30 years. Can you imagine that? That in the last 30 years, Nigeria has not added to its export, to the list of items that we export. We have remained in that box. And it's unthinkable because we have thousands of items locally that can be exported, that can be made into pretty much anything locally and be exported. And other African countries like Ghana have more than tripled their own in the last 30 years. Can you imagine that we're still exporting the same things? There is neem, there is sesame, there is honey, there's all kinds of things. We're actually more blessed than some of these other countries that are making mad money through agriculture. So we are able to diversify. And then we're also looking at industrialization. Many of the things that we still do by hand account for the things that keep us down. So you find somebody who's producing, let's say producing shoes, for example, because they're mostly doing out of a 10-step shoe manufacturing system. Most local manufacturers that you find are doing maybe 5 or 6 of their steps by hand. They're doing it manually. But imagine if you introduce industrialization and mechanization, and then you increase output. If you increase output, you also increase finishing and finesse for some of these products. And then we are able to meet the standards with which we are competing out there, because the shoes that come from Nigeria for a long time have not been able to, get the kind of recognition that, yes, you see, Abdullahi is saying that shoes are mostly 95% handmade. Yeah. So they're handmade, great. But how many am I able, you as a shoe manufacturer, how many shoes can you make in a whole week? Can you meet, if we go marketing now and I find somebody who says, okay, bring me Nigerian shoes. Can you meet this demand in a month? I would want a 20-foot container of shoes, and I would want one delivered to me every month because I have the market for it. Can you meet it? A lot of us here cannot even meet the demands. So one of the other things that we should be looking at is aggregating all of our resources so that we can begin to be big. My late dad used to say, it is better to be a small part of a big thing than a big part of nothing. And what a lot of small business owners are doing in Nigeria today are just being a big part of something that is almost nothing. But if you bring your resources, you have this machine, then I don't have this machine, but I have this other machine. And we put that together. And then we begin to trade with what we have. Because of that level of partnership, we will increase our output, increase our earnings, and more than double what we are earning. But at the end of it all, what you're looking at, again, is not just staying where you are. You're looking at the big picture, industrialization. So we want to move from that to being able to put a Nigerian stamp on the things that we're exporting from Nigeria. And then we increase our earnings on geographical indications. Remember when I explained geographical indications, I said they are like intellectual property that is attributed to naturally occurring substances, phenomenon, goods, products, services, and that are tied to a particular geographical region. If you didn't know, The shea butter that you find in Nigeria is not the same as the one that you find in, let's say, Benin Republic. And as good as that shea butter is, as good as many of the things that we have locally are, they cannot make it into European and American and Asian markets because we have not taken them through that process. So when you take your average products through a production prism, and then you take it through protection, and then that is when you are really ready for proliferation. That's when you're ready for marketing, and then you begin to think about supply chain, logistics, e-commerce, and then you now begin to be able to franchise from local outside. Right now, if you take a poll of the franchises in Nigeria, the franchises that come into Nigeria far outweigh the franchises that come from Nigeria. So a lot of the people that are franchising foreign brands that have come into Nigeria. It's great. It's a good learning curve, but it is not a place to stop. We have to build Nigerian businesses and products to the point where we can take them out there and then make them the ambassadors of the Nigerian economy. That is when they bring the real moolah home. So my challenge to you is, somebody now says, so how am I going to do all of that? Next slide, please. How am I going to do all of this? How am I going to take my small groundnut business to the point where I can actually export it, and export it in a way that, you know, it's an ambassador of the Nigerian brand? It's just to begin to understand that it has to go through this production, protection, and proliferation triangle. If you go through these 3 points, there is no way, and you really go through it, there is no way you will not be able to build a product that is export worthy. Because intellectual property is really at the base of building wealth. You can merchandise what you don't own, but you cannot franchise it. Economic activity without intellectual property can make you rich, but it cannot make you wealthy, because real wealth has to be transferable. The wealth that you cannot transfer, move, and, you know, work with is not real wealth. The kind of wealth that we're seeing now is what comes to us after others have created, and then we're basically selling for them. So we cannot begin to discuss transgenerational wealth outside of an IP-rooted economy. This economy has to begin to really look at IP as a whole. And it's not, intellectual property is not restricted to big companies. As a small business, you can secure your intellectual property at any stage at all. You can trademark, you can copyright. A lot of the wealth that is coming out of Nigeria right now is also within the creative industries. And a lot of it is not copyrighted. They just move around the rest of Africa. Apart from the language, a lot of it is not traceable back to Nigeria, and definitely not earning us any extra moolah. So we can only perpetuate a loanership when we are working with what others have created, not ownership. But when we create, when we devise, and then go on to franchising, that is when we own our own wealth, because it will be ours. Because when you create an IP base for a product or a service, for example, wherever it goes, it remits back home. Look at some of the brands that we've been able to export from Nigeria, and a lot of it is in the banking sector. Access Bank, UBA, First Bank, GT Bank in some cases. Those brands have been able to strengthen, not just brand-wise, but the intellectual property has been so strengthened that they can go abroad and retain their nucleus. So you have a Stanbic IBCT, for example, that is made up of a South African brand and a Nigerian brand. But if there was no intellectual property in there, it would just be a matter of swallowing up, and then you've lost your brand. You've lost your brand entirely to another brand. And then the history of that brand, the work that you put in it to create it, it is, first of all, it will be erased. Then again, you will not be able to pass it on. Some of the work that we do today will be earning potential for our children tomorrow. But if we're not building locally, then there is no way to be able to really leave something behind for the next generation. So don't just market something. Move towards making it. If you cannot make it, then modify it. Then whatever you have made or modified, make sure that you mark it, that you trademark it, and that you protect your intellectual property. Because everything that you have put into that brand is a form of wealth. But if you don't mark it, then it is lost the moment it moves away from your market. And that's what you want to do. You don't want to make something and then keep it within your own local market. The moment you make it and it goes out, but if you mark it, when it goes out, it still comes back to you. That is real wealth and ownership. The wealth that comes back to you, that brings something back to you, no matter where it goes. And this is my challenge to you. There are many things that you will be able to do, but not all of them we can discuss in this one seminar. But there are some resources that we have been able to make available to you. And those resources will help you. You can contact the NASSI Secretariat. The Nigerian Association of Small-Scale Industrialists has a desk that is dedicated to answering these kinds of questions. There are intellectual property and franchise lawyers that are tied to us. I will give you a few contacts here today in the chat box. The trademarks registry is one of them. We're working closely with them to ensure that small businesses can be cut some slacks, when it comes to intellectual property. Because one of the things that really drives a lot of people, Damian, you can take us back to the last slide. One of the things that really drives a lot of small businesses away from intellectual property protection is the perceived costs. But I can assure you that half the businesses here today have not even made inquiries what it will really cost to protect their own intellectual property. Half the businesses here they haven't done that. So I would really want to challenge you to begin to look at intellectual property protection for your small business. And of course, NASSI will be at your service. Whatever you decide to do, we'll link you up with lawyers, we'll link you up with the trademark registry, we'll link you up with the copyright commission, we'll link you up with the commodities and export department. All of those people have indicated, because of the work we're doing with them, they've indicated their willingness to be able to work with pretty much any small businesses, that approach them for help. And that's part of the benefits of being on this engagement seminar today. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Mo. Thanks so much, Mo. Thank you. And Mo, we will need all the informations that you just said.
I'll start putting
copyright. Okay, and Derek, can you put it on the chat box so that they can, our participant can see it and take notes and then contact these people?
Yeah, so it's there on the screen. I want to say thank you to Mo.
Okay.
And all this is the information you meet. I think NASSI has a website, right, Mo?
Yes.
And what about the copyright?
Copyright commission. I'm putting everything in. I'm signing on my PC so that I can just copy and paste them there.
Okay, and I'm sure some of our SMEs will want your contact.
I'll put that as well.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Mo, I will go straight into the Q&A. We're kind of pressed for time, so we'll just take 5 minutes to just quickly get some questions. Let me quickly dive into the questions now. Hold on. Thanks for the opportunity given to us. Please, can we have your contact, and also appreciate you if you can be my mentor. This is from Ido. He don't want your contact and he wants you to be his mentor. So you will get a contact. It will be written on the chat box. Yes. You will get every information you want from Mo and how she can help you grow your business. Okay, then the other question from Grace. An issue with Nigeria and Nigerians is the mentality of it is made in Nigeria, then it's not good enough. Also, not having standards that are acceptable by others. Above all, funds scarce. How do I go about it?
Funds. Did the person say funds?
Funds, yes. And you know, the Nigerian mentality, this thing is made in Nigeria, it won't be good enough, you know. They prefer things from the UK and the US or even Dubai than buying made in Nigeria products.
You know, the reason a lot of people have that attitude is because we haven't put for a long time, we haven't put the kind of care that I was talking about into our production. I'm selling it locally. Let me just package it with nylon. Small business owners hardly put care, you know, thought into the production process.
Yes.
So you have to change, and it comes from a mentality. That mentality is, let me use the pigeon. It's a see finish mentality. You feel as if you know the people that you are selling to and that they are a particular way, and that you sell it to them, they will take it, you know, they will manage it. We have this manage it attitude, you know. So, but if I told you to do maybe a fashion entrepreneur here, I said, do me 10 dresses and do it in a way that I can present it to the American ambassador. There's a way you will do it. There's a way such a person will package their product. They'll probably put it in, you know, in a bag, you know, they'll probably put a tag, you know, all of these things that we think are extras, that they are frills. They're part of the intellectual property that we're talking about. This person made a dress and you don't even know that this dress is different from the one that this person made. When you take a photo at Studio 24, for example, there is a way, there's a way, even if you don't see the logo on the Studio 24 photo, there is a look it has that you see the photo, you'll be like, did you take this photo at Studio 24? You know, so there is a finishing, there is a facade, there is a packaging that every product should have, and that every producer should have for their product. If you don't do it that way, the attitude will never change. Why will the attitude never change? Because the mentality doesn't change. So if we produce differently, then consumers will consume differently. But if you produce the same way we've been producing before, consumers will consume the same way they've been consuming before.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Even sometimes when you see some goods, when you buy some goods, the edges, they're kind of rough, they are not properly done. Yeah. You'll be wondering, why is somebody doing this?
Yes.
And they want you to patronize them again the second time. Okay, let me go to this question. Okay.
That's what they be now. That's what they be.
Yes, we are Nigerians. Take it now. Take it. That's how it is. Okay. Do you have bulk SMS reseller package? No, we don't. For now, we don't. But we have SME. We have SME bulk SMS that you can use to reach your customers, and the maximum for a month is 50,000. So SME bulk SMS is up for SMEs, and you can go to our website to get it. bulksms.mtn.com.ng. I'll put the the address at the chat box. Derry.
Yes, you will get that link as soon as possible.
Okay.
It's actually a very easy to use platform for sending bulk SMSs. You just register for it. If you're an MTN subscriber, you can use your airtime to pay for whatever SMS bundle you want. And you can also customize your sender ID. But although your sender ID will have to go
log on, so you don't have to start putting your password somewhere.
Yeah, and your sender ID would need to go to some approval before, so that you don't use some. But you get the intricacies on our website.
All the information will be on the website. You get them there. Okay, Mo, they're asking if you can send them the PDF of your presentation. Hello, Mo. Is she here?
Hello, Mo.
Mo.
I think she's muted.
Yes. Can you unmute her, please?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry to hear that. I was muted. I said I'll send here for the presentation.
Okay, thank you so much. Can we get the recording email to us? Sound volume is unstable.
You will get the recording. You will get the recording,
and it will be on the MTN YouTube page. Okay, there's a lot of things that can be made in this country. I personally discovered 2 good products that can be built on, but Startup Capital sent me back home. So can you help? So how can we seek help or fund?
I'm always amused at how funding is the first thing we think about when we have a business idea. It's pretty much the last. In fact, there are certain things that a business or a business idea has that funds will find it. Funds will find you for that thing. If you have structure, if you have a plan, if you have, first of all, even a good idea, the first thing you need is not funds. The first thing you need is to put your head down and develop this idea, research it, develop it, and then get it into a whole product or a package, whether it's a service or it's a good, a physical good. You have to develop it and make it into something first. If you don't do that, you will never find funds. But if you have done that packaging, then funds will naturally gravitate towards you because there is money. There's money sitting in the system. People hardly believe me when I say this thing, but there is money sitting in the system. So you have to know that everywhere you turn, the things that you see, Paystack did not just get up and got so much. Flutterwave did not just get up and got so much. No, somebody started doing something with the very little that they had. So that's where you have to start. If you've discovered those 2 things, research it and package it into a pre-product. Then when you package it into a pre-product, find somebody who you think has the means to push it out there. You can sign an agreement for maybe a partnership agreement or a special purpose vehicle that you can create with the person. So you bring the product, they bring the funds, somebody else brings the manpower or whatever it is. If you do that kind of thing, before in no time, you approach a venture capitalist. You find an angel investor and pitch your idea to them. Attend all kinds of pitchathons, all this, watch all, what do they call these TV shows? Watch the
Dragon's Den. We have one in Nigeria now, the Lion's Den.
Lion's Den, watch them.
That's our Nigerian version of it.
Your idea together. The funds will find you.
Then get an accountant to do a proper valuation for you, so you don't overpitch yourself to your. Okay, thank you so much, Mo. I understand the need for registration of intellectual property and linking it to Nigeria exporters, Exporters worry that they may not get the right price if it carries made in Nigeria badge, especially in international markets. What assurance or advice do we have for that? Yeah, so I think this is a case of, are we demarketing Nigeria in any way? If you are here and you have been in the habit of demarketing Nigeria, maybe you should try and play up the Nigerian name. Mo, do you have any insights for us in case of exporters saying, oh, this thing carried made in Nigeria badge, I beg, put Louis Vuitton on it and let us send it to, what can we do?
This is, if you have a product that you think is not going to be accepted internationally, then you don't have a problem. What you have is a challenge. And what you need to do is your homework. You have to find a need in, even if it's not the market that you're currently looking at, it might be another market. There is nothing that sells a product like referrals. Find somebody who has a strong need, meet that need. But my people, first of all, we must do our homework. Sometimes it's just maybe wrong packaging, wrong marketing, you know. So it's a marketing challenge. So somebody doesn't want to buy your product because they feel, give them a deal. Give them a deal and give them a hook. There's something in marketing called the hook. You can say, what is your need? What do you want to do? And you are sure, you as the owner of that product, you are sure that you can meet that need. Somebody has stained ceramic toilets and you have a ceramic cleaner. Say, I will supply you 10 crates. If it does not get clean, don't pay. You know what you are selling. But if it does the job, you owe me. In fact, you can put a premium on top of it for even doubting me first. So it's a marketing challenge, and it really depends on how you can sell your product. Every buyer has a bias. Every buyer has a bias. You just have to find it and find a way to knock it down.
Okay, Mo, we have a question here that has to do with even ease of doing business. Mo, is what our present government has tried to tout over the last 3-4 years. Someone here, Samuel Ajimo, that says, I'm into production paper of car air freshener. Well, I'm into production of car air freshener. My products are very attractive and it can compete with the ones outside Nigeria. I have trademark, but my challenge is getting them registered at NAFDAC. Now, yeah, so a lot of people I hear want to do some food, anything ingestible, anything chemical that will have some consumption around it into the human body, or maybe through nasal or oral or anything, has to go through NAFDAC. So how do we strike this balance? We want Nigerians to thrive, but we have bottlenecks, yeah?
Yeah, it's not just NAFDAC. Compliance and regulation generally is a problem for many businesses in Nigeria, especially small businesses. It exists even for big businesses too. Recently, I had to help as a consultant this time for one of our member companies. I had to help them get through compliance and regulation in the petroleum industry. And my goodness, getting an ordinary permit out of DPR, it will amaze you the kind of hoops you have to jump. One of the first things that I will advise business to do is to master the compliance and regulation requirements of their business. If you are into food processing and production, you have to master it will not cost you anything to ask questions, ask NAFDAC questions, ask them all kinds of questions. Then apart from NAFDAC, ask another business that is also doing well, that has gone through compliance and regulation for that industry. Ask them questions, make them your friend. They would let you know that, you need this, you will need this, but they won't tell you this. You will find out you will need this after you have done this. You know, so you begin to, you prepare yourself. Then again, the other thing that you have to, that I advise small businesses to do is to belong. There is power in numbers. If you are doing collective bargaining, for example, there are some things that we do collective bargaining for our members for. So let's say we want to do something with BOI, rather than have our members go to BOI one by one. Someone like me, I will walk into the BOI office. I will ask to see somebody higher. I will make a deal for all of our members. And then I will go to our membership and say, and we'll throw the thing open to our members. You know, so there is power in numbers. Belonging will help you. But if you, there's this proverb that I've been reading online for years now. It says, if you want to go far, go alone. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, very far, that is, if you want to go the distance, go with others. You have to make sure that you are not an island as well. Yes, you're a small business, but you don't have to be a small person. You don't have to be inconsequential. So join an association, join a group. You are into yam production, join the Yam Growers Association of Nigeria. There is FACAN, that is the Federation of Commodities Association. You know, you can be a part of you can be a small part of a big thing, and you know, enjoy big from being there. Join cooperatives, join BMOs like NASSI, join NASSI, join Nigerian Association of Small Scale Industrialists, join FACAN, join something in your church, in your group, you know. So all of these groups, they have their ways of doing collective bargaining. What you cannot,
yes, and helping each other.
To be able to get, you know, even sometimes information, just information you can get from being a member of a group. So that's one way around it.
Thank you, Mo. Yes, let me go to Joseph. Good morning, Ma. Thanks for your presentation. I'm into footwear design and production. One of the challenges I have is to grow my brand. How do I go about it? Secondly, I would appreciate if you can be my mentor.
Hey,
well, you have so many people coming under your wings.
It is well. God is able to help all of us.
God will help you and help us too.
Yes, I know people who can mentor you. So I may be able to provide you with business strategy mentorship, but for that footwear design and everything, I may be able to link you up with another person who is into, you know, footwear manufacturing. So, and there are a number of them that are really associated with us. And so I can easily link you up. But when you're talking about growing your brand, one of the first things you have to do as a small business, whether you want to grow your brand, whether you want to grow your marketing distribution network, whatever it is that you have to do some studying of your own. You have to do some research. This is your brand. You know what that brand wants to do. You know what you want that brand to do. Some people may develop a brand that they want it to have a sentimental value to a particular demographic. You want children to be in love with your brand, for example. Maybe your entry point as a brand strategy is women and families, or, you know, just like you have your idea, what you want that business to say. A brand is really what your business is saying without words. So if you have already mastered that, both from your inspiration and the things that you have read, then you now take all of that and consult a brand strategist. If you want to grow and you want to be a mega brand, for example, you have to meet a mega need. What is the need that your brand is meeting? You have to find that need. You have to find a way of meeting that need. And look, you're never going to pay one day for adverts, because you're going to find that your brand is speaking to the hearts of your customers, and then your customers are doing the speaking to other potential customers.
Well, I'm seeing that some people say they can hardly hear you, but a lot of people are also saying that they can hear quite clearly. So
sure
please,
maybe
it's from your end, but eventually this recording will be live and will be placed on our YouTube page. And because we have already overshot our time now, and Mo also has actually stretched to give us extra time. So, Blessing, let's just take this last question about someone is into software, and AI management control and software.
Can you take the question?
Appraiser software. Yeah, my name is Emmanuel Emirate, and my team have developed an AI management control and appraisal software for close to 2 years. What's the best way to market this? And this will be the last question. How software management and software marketing in Nigeria? What's the way around that?
What's the best way to market it?
Mo, he's muted again.
Before they take that software into the marketing stage, have they marked it? Has it been distinguished? Is there something special that it does? Is there a special demographic that it speaks to? Is it protected intellectually? You know, so it's marketing is maybe about the last thing, but let me assume that the person who is asking this question has done all of that. The very next thing that you do is to find an entry point into the market. This is another seminar entirely in helping such a business, you know, to design their routes to market and then get entry points of the market. But off the top of my head, what I can say is, if you want to market your software, you have to find somebody who has a need. You have to meet that need, and then you have to Nigerian balance
an entry points.
You know,
loud it from there. Yeah, then you get referrals and
yes, because when every time a need is met, you make your business go viral. Because somebody will tell, human beings cannot keep quiet. They have to tell somebody something. The same thing when you fail to meet a need, when you bungle a job, somebody will tell somebody that place, don't go there. That guy is a bad baba.
Yes, bad news travels faster. Bad news travels faster. Okay. I just want to thank Mo. Blessing, thank you so much. We have gone 18 minutes over the time now. Mo, I just want you to end with a final word on, after you said you recommended resources, you said one last line here, and the most important thing is you. So if you could close for us on that leg and say, how does this business own? You said one last word on, you said on the last line.
Go back up one slide.
Okay. Is it the slide you want?
One slide.
One more slide.
Yes.
So you said something that the most important thing is you. That is you, the
important thing today that every business must do is to have a plan. Do you have that plan? Do you have whatever it is that you are into, are you making it? You may not be making phones, but can you make a packaging for your phone, or can you make a service process for the phones that you're selling? You may not be able to.
I think you had that device on. Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. So you may not be able to make phones yet, but is there something about that service that you can make? Is there something about that service that you can already influence? Some people have successfully made, packages or even service processes around products that they did not originally, create. They've innovated on how maybe that product is sold. So these are the things. Everybody has to be thinking of, when my product or my service leaves me, can it bring something back to me? Can it bring a customer back to me? Can it bring a measure of wealth back to me? You have to be thinking about that. And if you're not thinking about that, honestly, you've made something. Sorry about that.
You're muted. Are you saying something?
I think
Yeah, so I just want to say that we appreciate Mo. It's part of
Yes.
the hazard of remote work. You may suddenly have a child around you that won't have originally have been in your office environment. Yeah. So the people are asking for those links you said, the websites, the links, your phone. Yes, please just help us put them on the chat while we begin to round up this session. Thank you all for joining us. Okay, you're sending them to me. Okay.
Yes.
So we'll put them on. Is it on WhatsApp or what?
You can put them. Okay, so you're logging out now, so you can maybe send them.
I'm not. Maybe you can put it on the chat box so that everybody can see it at once. Yeah, that's just what they want, so that they can see it all at once. So guys, everybody, please wait. Check the chat room. You will see all the information that Mo is about to drop for us, and then begin to take advantage of it. And the beautiful thing is this: it's not the hearer that gets blessed; it's the doer. So I hear franchising. I hear be a small part of a big thing than be a big part of nothing. Nigerians need to learn how to democratize power so that the more we are, the more the merrier. So if you are the owner of a sole owner of a 10,000 naira business or a 100,000 naira business, or you are a part owner of a 1 billion naira business, you understand that is where come together with people of like minds in the same industry, people with the ideas, people with the know-how, and then you get people with the financing. And there she talked about having lawyers, legal frameworks for everything you are doing so that you can get your business really riding. Mo, we just want to thank you. Everybody, the slides are going to be available shortly. Also, we'll be having this video online on our YouTube page in the next few days after we have done some good editing to it, and we'll put it on our YouTube page, youtube.com/MTN Nigeria. So just on MTN, on your YouTube, just search for MTN Nigeria. Beyond these SME webinars, you have other content on our YouTube page that can be of great interest to you. So okay, let me just on the chat section, I think Mo has dropped it there. Okay, no, not yet.
Not yet. It's not there.
Let me just type them in. Okay, I'll forward it to you, Blessing, so you can just type it out on the.
Derry, do you have it with you?
On my WhatsApp, yes. I'll send it. I'm sending it to your WhatsApp, and so you can just load it. Yeah. So they're asking for Mo's contact. Just Mo, your email address. Just give us your email address as well, so that we want to reduce phone calls as much as possible, because I know you're a very busy person, but emails, I know you get to attend to your emails every day. It's been a pleasure hosting this session again. It's been a pleasure hosting this session today. Blessing will put in the email. Blessing, you have Mo's email. Blessing, you have Mo's email.
Yes, I have Mo's email.
Yes, I just ever type it on the group, and then
Derry,
also put.
Can you please share our email with me? I don't have it here.
Okay. All right. Let me just look for that. Alrighty. Thank you so much, Mo. It's been a pleasure working with you on this session again and again, and we'll be back to discuss other topics that are germane to you, and we are glad that we can always reach out to you at short notice. Hope I'm not stretching it too far. Yes. So just look out for the information. So she's dropping some more information. Commodities and Exports Department, Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. There's a phone number you can reach out to there. Business franchise in Nigeria, there's a phone number you can reach out to there. Okay. Mo, your email is mo.olumide, right? Yes, mo.olumide@gmail.com. Okay, she's just giving us a treasure. Oh, there's a franchise law firm here that you can reach out to. She's already putting it there on the chat on my WhatsApp so that Blessing can help us.
I've sent it. Let me
Yes.
put the business franchise.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to Blessing. I want to say thank you to Blessing. Thank you to Moturayo. And I want to say thank you to our partners at BHM. BHM have been in charge of this media platform that we are stretching out to you. So they will also be in charge of the recordings to make sure that everybody gets it. Till sometime next month, where we have come to you again with another. Want to ask you to visit our mtnbusiness.com.ng website. See all our products and services that are available to solve your business problems, to solve your business needs. That is what we do at MTN Enterprise Business. We solve business needs and we make business running easier. So we've told you about MTN Thrive. MTN Thrive is our new data and voice plan that comes with comboed with bulk SMS and MTN Engage. We also have a bulk SMS standalone service. Our data share options are available as well. Corporate data gifting, SME data share, and all that. So just visit our website, mtnbusiness.com.ng. And if you are here, you're not yet a member of our MTN SMA Tribe on Facebook, please just type MTN SMA Tribe on Facebook and you can join immediately. Once again, thank you, Mo, for this wonderful session. Thank you for everyone, about 160 something people that attended this session. We are very grateful because you attend our sessions every time. Till we come your way again next time with another beautiful topic on the MTN SMA webinars. What are we doing today? Go do something great. That is MTN's new payoff. What are we doing today? We are asking ourselves every time, what are we doing today? Because doers are better than sayers. Doers make things happen. Blessing. Another great session. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody.
All.